So we'll be getting started in 5 minutes, and I'll make all the posts and updates everywhere else.
All right, that works.
Gotta find that post in the midst of all these other posts I've recently made.
It's probably your best bet if you go onto the Dragon Dice page, not the community, because I think I posted it there. Maybe I did post. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was the Dragon Dice page.
Unfortunately, they deleted it from the Dice Maniacs page because it was advertising a Twitch stream, and I guess they don't like that.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and post it on the community group at least. I can't find it on the Dragon Dice page.
Maybe if I can pull it up here.
All right, so for everyone watching, we'll be trying to get started in just a couple more minutes. Get people to join in. We've got 6 SFR kickers here, and then DScott's got a couple TSR Scalder kickers and 1 TSR Frostwing kicker.
Yeah. And we're hoping to pull the ever elusive Unseelie fairy, which is, especially with the TSR kickers, is essentially the holy grail of Dragon Dice. Um, yeah, somebody's got all these tournament posts. I wonder who that is.
Who wants to see that when they can see an unboxing?
That's right.
I had almost mixed up yours and
Everybody
Dave's
wants to see it.
Firewalker armies when I was taking screenshots of the championship games.
Yeah, that was pretty much got my handed to me during that.
Unfortunately. Hey, Billy, glad you could join us. All right. So, before we get to opening any of the kickers, we're definitely excited. For anyone relatively new to the rarity distribution for the dice, we thought we'd go over the rarity distributions for Scalders and Frostwings. Now, these are the only 2 species where there's also a rarity distribution amongst the large dice, not just the monsters. All the other species, it's a flat rarity for small, medium, and large dice, and it's just the monsters that have a distribution. But Scott, why don't you talk to the rarity distribution for these Scalders?
Okay, the rarity distribution, it actually started prior to Scalders and Frostwings for the monsters. Way back in its early inception, um, where for an individual species there was a 10% chance of pulling the quote rare monster. That was changed with the introduction of swamp stalkers, where the rarity for monsters was redistributed, and it became for the what was then labeled as the ultra rare monster 2.5%. There was a 1 in 40 chance of pulling an ultra rare monster. And then the distribution stepped up from there, in that there would be for the next rarest would be 4 in 40, 7 in 40, and then 12 out of 40 for the distribution on the and then 16 out of 40 for the final one. Uh, the molds were made with 40 cavities. So essentially, for the ultra rare monster, there was a one ultra rare monster in that mold of 40. As Travis stated, that was stepped up with the Frostwings and the Scalders, in that the rarity was skewed as well with the rare units. It drew a lot of ire from a lot of the longtime players, in that the most useful die within the race, the magic user large six-siders, were the ones that were the most rare. There was a 1 in 35 chance for the Magi for the Frostwings, and a 1 in 35 chance of the Inferno for the Scalders. And those molds had 70 cavities, so you had two of each of those large six-siders were pressed with each mold. For Frostwings and Scalders, there was a 100,000 kicker run, which equates for the ultra rare monsters about 2,500 out of 100,000 mold cavities that were allotted for both the Frost Ogre for the Frostwings and the Unseelie Fairy for the Scalders. And those are what we're hoping to pull today from the TSR kickers. They're some of the rarest dice in the game. Considering SFR reprinted both Frostwings and Scalders, which have received 2 reprints, they're still hard to find, but they're out there. The TSR kickers, it's a little more difficult because they're not making any more. And we'll go into the reason for the Unseelie Fairy being the quote holy grail of production dice in a bit. Travis, do you have anything to add?
No, that covers it all pretty well. I'm definitely I'm hoping to get some Unseelie Fairies and Infernos in my pull, but I'd also be happy with some Seerers because, as I was telling Scott earlier, I've got 4 Infernos, but only 1 Seerer in my collection. So I'm hoping to bump up my Seerer collection as well.
Okay.
So with that, let's see what we get. So we'll get started with myself. I've got 6 SFR kickers here. So we'll work our way through these and try and unbox them, seeing what we get. So I see lots of magic icons. Cantrip. Wow. That's a great start. First pack.
Yeah.
Pull out an Unseelie.
Wow. Very nice.
And then Charkin is one of the more common large dice, but still one of my favorite Scalder large dice. So that's an awesome start. A great way to begin.
Yeah, I just hope that you didn't jinx me with pulling the Unseelie there instead of in the kickers that I have.
Well, there's only going to be one pull today, right? Maybe two if I get it before you go.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Here's another Eder cap here. And for the large die, I see Blazing Arrows, a Blazer. So,
as is normally referred to the Eder crap.
Yep. All too familiar with that term. He's kind of the jack of all trades die. He's got so many different icons, it's hard to be focused on any one thing. Here's a Quickling here in this die. And for the large, looks like a Dragon Knight.
Or Dragon Knight, yep. I saw the fly icons.
So we're halfway through the SFR kickers. Looks like another Eder cap and another Blazer. So another one of the common results.
Yeah, 26 out of 70 is a pretty good chance you're going to pull those guys.
Another Eder cap that makes 3. And another Charkin. So far no Sears, but I did get that Unseelie, so that's a good start. One final box to go through. All right, another Quickling and another Blazer. So Unseelie Fairy definitely made this all worth it. That was definitely a great pull. A little surprised to not see any Webbirds, but that's all right. There are only 6 kickers here. And Dragon Knights are always a good pull.
Webbirds are pretty common, so you know in the probability curve, it's pretty odd that you didn't get any.
Yeah.
But you better not have taken my Unseelie. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for the luck for letting me pull first. First kicker, pulling an Unseelie.
All right. Now, a little bit as far as the history of the Unseelie, especially the TSR Unseelie, we've already gone through the fact that there's only one per mold. But the reason they're so coveted by collectors is because when TSR was still a viable standalone entity, they had designed these kickers, and because of the lead time in printing the dice, which, you know, depending on different factors, could be 6 months to a year, they had to order the printing well ahead of time. And they ordered the Frostwings and the Scalders about the same time. Again, 100,000 kickers for each species. And they were also in the midst of crushing debt. And it got to the point where they could no longer operate as a standalone entity. And between the release of the Frostwings and Scalders, they were purchased by Wizards of the Coast. Now, the first thing that Wizards of the Coast did when they purchased TSR was to eliminate any competition for their flagship game, which of course is Magic the Gathering. That meant that their collectible card games, Blood Wars, which was, hanging on on life support anyway, and Spellfire were both canceled. And Dragon Dice was canceled as well. Now, because the Scalders were already in the process of being printed, it decided to, fulfill orders for game stores, etc., that had already anticipated receiving them, but there was no support. And due to the disenfranchisement of the additional rarities for the large units, a lot of them weren't sold. And when they were returned back to Wizards of the Coast for as unsellable, they were put into a landfill in Belgium. So there's really no discernible way of finding out exactly how many TSR Unseelies are out there at this point, because out of the 2,500 that were printed, the majority of them are currently sitting in a landfill or possibly burned, depending on who you ask and who you talk with. So, but the chances of locating them in either case is slim to none. So that made the TSR Unseelie Fairy the most coveted die in the game. So what we're going to do now is try and find one. But first, I have the Frostwings, TSR Frostwings, and we are looking for yet another Frost Ogre. So these poor boxes went through the ringer. And if anybody knows me, they know that I like to keep an empty box of each. So it's a good thing I already have these, because these boxes are beat to hell. And for our Frostwings, we have a Yeti, which is essentially junk. And we have a Vindicator, which is the most common. So,
all right, let's hold that chunk up to the screen.
Yeah, let's see here. We've got, let me roll this around here in the bag. Okay, well, let's see. There is the Vindicator. Yeah, you can see it there. And the Yeti. Both on the most common list for that particular species. But these are the real treasures. What's that?
That fly on the Frostwings is the reason I had paused when I pulled out my Dragon Knight, because I know fly is on so many of the Frostwing dice that my first thought is, okay, this doesn't guarantee this is a Dragon Knight, but that's just my mixing up Scalders and Frostwings and trying to remember which one's which as I'm looking at them.
Yeah. With as many different units as far as, in the different species, I've been playing for 25 years, and I still get them mixed up. So, with that being said, this is the real treasures. And I've already got, somebody's got dibs on one of the empty boxes, so I have to be careful not to trash them too much. And we have, oh look, there's your web birds.
There's the one I was missing.
That's the one you were missing. That's the web birds. See if I can get there's the web birds. And we have this is just Charkin, so or is it the Charkin or is that's the missile, the Blazer? So you can see that one there. Now, going back to Travis having pulled an Unseelie ferry from the SFR kickers, there is a very easy way to tell, and it's a little bit tough to see on the webcams, but the TSR Scalders had a cream-colored ink, yeah, like a yellowish cream color, and the SFRs had, a stark white ink. There you go.
For the Frostwing, you can see it a little bit better in the webcam. The right side is TSR, the left side is SFR. So yeah, the Frostwing's
the TSR
kind of a very light blue ink.
And then he's got the promo there, which was an SFR promo die that was done to appease some of the collectors who were kind of upset that they weren't able to get the ultra rare dice. SFR did that to try to alleviate some of that situation by printing the large six-siders and the monsters in yellow ink for anybody who was trying to complete their collection. They also did that with the Scalders. Let's see if I can dig these up here. And the Scalders were done in black ink. So those are the promotional dice. The only way to get those at this point is via tournaments and the Gen Con bubble gum machine. So if you're ever at Gen Con, there's a chance you can get some of the yellow inked Frostwings or the black inked Scalders through our bubblegum machine.
So keep signing up for those tournaments. If we get enough players, we'll get bigger, better prizes like this.
Now,
the last
to give you an idea,
the last Gen Con champion from just a couple weeks ago got his alt ink or mirror this week.
Well, he actually got an alternate ink because the Kickstarter, the alternate ink Swamp Stalkers that we made for the Kickstarter was an orangish peachish color, but he got the purple ink Dormier. So that's the alternate ink.
I might even have a couple to bring up real quick. I didn't think about pulling these out.
Yeah. Let's see, I've got them in here somewhere. If I can find them. Okay, there's the it's hard to see. Yeah, it's the
so that's the Kickstarter one, right?
That's the Kickstarter one, yes. And here is the alternate ink, and you really can't see it. But it is a lovely lavender purple color. And these are only available as tournament prizes.
So yeah, I'll try and hold them all together for kind of a color comparison. Top left, I believe that's TSR. And
top left is TSR. It had a lighter green.
So yeah, top right is an SFR print run. The middle there is the alt ink from the Kickstarter, and then the Alt Inc. as tournament prizes.
And for the collectors, those are really gonna be the ones to get.
Yep, that's definitely going to have me jumping into the next Gen Con championship I can get into.
Now, and they may be in other tournaments as well. So, right now, unfortunately, our tournaments are sort of forced to be online, but that doesn't mean you can't win.
Yeah, speaking of the next one is going to be a Battlefest tournament. We decided to postpone it partly because Tabletopia was choking on heavy load that day, but also because a lot of people were interested but couldn't get in at the last minute. So Battlefest will be coming up soon. We'll be announcing that in a little bit.
Yes, I have my Battlefest army, and hopefully it'll do better than my Worlds did.
Let's see, you've got one more Scalders pack, right? Is that the Unseelie
Yes,
pack?
I do.
Ooh, and that's
What's
the one with the new sticker too.
Well, we'll see. I wouldn't classify 25-year-old kicker as new, but
The kicker says it's new.
all right. Well, this is true. And we're gonna open this up in front of the camera, and drum roll, please. We have a Quickling. So unfortunately, this was an investment that did not pay off.
You can never win if you don't play.
That's right. But we've got a Quickling, and we've got a Charkin over here.
Charkin's not great, but Quickling, not too bad.
That's our Charkin. And the Quickling we've already seen way too much of, so. But it doesn't look like there's anybody in the lobby. So, Travis, is there any questions posted in the live stream that may need answering?
I think the only question I haven't answered out loud, Matt was asking about my 4 Infernos, if they were TSR or SFR, and they're all SFR Infernos. In fact, most of my dice that have a TSR and SFR print run are SFR. I have very, very few TSR Scalders or Swamp Suckers or Frostwings. Majority of my dice are from 2010 onwards.
That's one of my TSR Infernos.
Very nice.
Well, we can really get
surprisingly for me now, I'm trying to get 12 health of all the dice. I'm still going to be getting Scalders packs, but not for Unseelies or Infernos, but for the Searers. I have one Searer, so I've got 3 more to go. But I've got 12 health of Unseelies and Infernos now.
Is the Holy Grail. I pulled another one that, if you can see it, is a TSR Unseelie.
Beautiful.
The Holy Grail of production dice. But I will keep watching eBay and other sites because you never know. They may come up again and we get some other opportunities to roll the dice, both figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I think Billy might be heading over to Belgium with a shovel, so we May see a few kickers show up to fund that expedition when he gets back.
Hey, Billy, if you do head over there, let me know, and maybe I'll stow away in your luggage and come over there with you.
Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And in case if anyone missed it, so here is the poll of the evening, the first SFR kicker pack that brought out an Unseelie fairy. No such luck with the TSR packs, but we did have luck with an SFR pack. So good luck with your dice
Better
openings.
than nothing.
That's right. Good night, everyone, and thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, guys, and hopefully we'll see you again.